Introduce yourself to our audience.
Right on, man. Thank you for having me on your show, man. Truly an honor to be here. Yeah, my name is Erik Allen. I am a podcaster, content creator, voiceover artist, a laser engraver, semi-funny guy. But yeah, I love being able to connect with people. Podcasting is definitely the passion. I'm fascinated with people's stories. And like you mentioned, I am the winner of Ed Mylett's MAXOUT Challenge, which opened up so many doors, including a conversation with Ed. And then that led to conversations with Brad Lee, Yamedris Kulian, Dan Caldwell, Jim the Rookie Morris, Eric LeGrand, Tim Story, Brad Lee, Sean Whalen, and tons of others, man. Just been really, really blessed in the podcasting world, man.
Truly amazing. But you know what, Erik? Birds of a feather flock together, right? So it's no surprise you found yourself with those guys, with those names you just provided. You recognized that you were using the same pattern, a pattern of discipline and strength, and just putting in that work that it requires to take care of that everyday business, everyday struggle.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's all about who you surround yourself with, right? So, if you're stuck in a situation you don't want to get out of, that you need to get out of, or you're just feeling like you're not moving anywhere, you're just being complacent, you got to go surround yourself with people that are living the life that you want to live.
Very nice. What's your advice, Erik? You're a podcaster now. You got recognized by these really big names. What's your advice for people out there who want to make a change to their lives? You made a conversation with a lot of people. We were speaking before the show. You're on a goal right now, right? How many guests are you trying to get onto this show?
So I did a podcast tour in 2021. This is my 112th interview for the year.
Wow, 112th. That's insane. And we're at December, so we're not even at the end yet. He's still going, you guys. So consistency. Hey, where did you get this consistency from, Erik?
But you know what? I realized that if I wasn't being consistent, I wasn't going to improve anything. So, if you do want to make a change, right? Accept that you want to make a change, right? Decide that you want to, but then you've got to take action. You can't just sit there and do, all right, it's just going to come and, happen, right? So you have to take action. So for me, I wake up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week, man. I know that I have to get up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week, because if I don't, it's going to throw me off track of my goal, right? So you have to be consistent with that. Write down your goals. Your morning routine should really start the night before, right? So for me, I write down a to-do list that I'm going to have to do the first thing when I get up in the morning. So I'm not getting up and getting lost on Facebook and Instagram and all that junk, right? I know exactly what I have to do when I wake up, and that helps me be consistent with my daily tasks and my daily goals that I have to go and fight for.
Is that your why, Erik? It's the needing to prove that you're not going to play catch up with yourself. You're going to wake up, get there on time, right? Show up on time and just say to the job, to life, hey, I'm ready to go.
If we go deep dive into my why is really just to provide and protect my family always. And, my wife and I, we both came from crazy families. And so, our goal is to provide for our kids something that we didn't have as kids. That's a structured home that's that is there to provide protection for our kids and allow them to have fun and not have them see a divorce or not witness craziness that we witnessed as kids, right? So that why is protecting my wife, protecting my kids, and my end goal is to have some property that I can, people think it's a funny joke, but I literally have it on my wall in here that I look at every day. But if I can't pee off my front porch, my neighbors are too close. Like, I want that type of property.
Absolutely. I hear what you're saying, man. That's the American dream. Own your property, own your space. That's amazing, brother. That's very nice. Erik, can we get a little bit of background on you growing up, what it was like, you just growing up to how you ended up where you are here today?
Yeah, the quick rundown, I went to, lived in Eastern Washington State. I thought it was a normal life, like went to Sunday school, played Little League. My dad would take my best friend Dave and I literally throw us in dumpsters behind big stores when I was a kid and say, go find treasure. So that's what we did on Saturday mornings, Then my parents got divorced when I was 11 years old. Never heard of that word before. But my mom, unfortunately, she got together with a guy who was very physically abusive. So, and he hung around and he got my mom pregnant, and then they moved us to small town Montana. And I ended up fighting him when I was 13 years old. I hit him in the head twice with a cast iron pan and split the back of his head open and split his forehead open to protect my mom. And when I did that, I actually got kicked out of the house. I had 3 months left of my freshman year of high school. So I slept on hardwood floors in my buddy's house to finish out high school or finish my freshman year, and then moved back to Washington State to live with my dad, and really just set me on this path of destruction for the next 10 years. Got into drugs really early. When I was 18 years old, I was arrested for having a bong. I was kicked out of my dad's house 2 weeks after I graduated. And then between the ages of 18 and 21, I moved 21 times, living on couches, living off of credit cards. And by the time I'm 21, I was $28,000 in debt and had to file bankruptcy, and landed a job with Universal Records, which was a dream job for me. But what that did was, it was awesome to be around the musicians and be in the music industry, but I lived a rock star lifestyle without being a rock star. So I was 2 to 3 concerts a week, open tabs, 2-year span, probably went to about 175 concerts. And it definitely wasn't good for my health, man. It took me down a real dark path for a while.
That's definitely a difficult path to maintain a sober lifestyle and not a lot of money coming in. You know, the common saying in the touring musician's life is it's not how much you make, it's how much you spend, right? A lot of the guys are just buying beers and going to dinner every night, and it can get very, it's a downward spiral pretty quickly. Wow. So you leave your house at 13 off of the fact that there's difficulties in the family. You're figuring things out. You know, we don't know what's going on at that age. There's so many thoughts and emotions. It's just like all that stuff is just flying through the roof, and you find yourself having to leave the house, move on to your own place, become your own man pretty soon. That's a lot to take on as a 13-year-old. That's insane. And you naturally you end up with the wrong group, right? Just a group you identify with, maybe not the best group, but you work with what you got, and that's what you got. And you guys did what you did, and naturally, you know, we all get into stuff, right? And you got into some pretty bad stuff. And where did it start to look forward from there? You were in debt and you got the dream job, you said, at Universal. Was it from there things started to look really nice for you compared to before?
A little bit. So I got laid off my 1-year anniversary at Universal. The year prior to Universal, my buddy was a manager at an outdoor venue, so that's why I had this 2-year concert span of, you know, open tabs and stuff. But yeah, I got laid off my 1-year anniversary from Universal. It was during the Napster days. If people remember Napster, it totally killed the music industry there. But it kind of sent me into this depression, man. I was working at Starbucks at night, had no direction of where I wanted my life to go, and one night a girl walked into Starbucks and said, "Hey, we've got this cool college age event down at our church. Would you be interested in going?" And I was alone and I was depressed and had no friends, and yeah, I'll go. You know, what time do I need to be there? And so I got down there, and I ended up knowing all these guys from like 5-6 years, man, before. Like, dude, I haven't seen you in 5 years. I haven't seen you in 7 years. So it's just, you know, I think that God was planting a seed in me in that moment, because about a month later was Easter 2004. And went out and partied with my buddies, and woke up Easter morning in my buddy's basement, surrounded by probably 15 guys. And I felt in that moment, God was telling me, dude, you're going down this path that's going to end your life real quick, man, if you don't start making some changes. And so I decided in that moment, I gave my life to Christ, and I quit cold turkey drugs, drinking cigarettes, everything in that moment, and called that girl up who invited me to that church event and said, "Hey, thanks for inviting me to that church event. Maybe I'll see you at the store sometime." And a month later, we were dating, and now we've been married for almost 17 years, man.
Wow, look at that. Put the drugs, put the alcohol down, and met the woman of your life, and went to the church and made the change. Very amazing. Very amazing. And how long has that been now for you? Has that been a while now of maintaining this new life? It seems like you don't even know that old life of yours anymore. You look like a completely changed guy. I would never believe that you were a guy on the streets, in trouble, this crazy childhood. I would imagine you had the best childhood. You just got this light in you.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it was a journey for sure, man. I mean, instantly I knew what I needed to do to get out of that situation, and I had to change my environment, which is uncomfortable. But if you want to make a change in your life, you've got to get uncomfortable. You've got to surround yourself with those people that are living life that you want to live, like I said, and then also acknowledging that my past and other people's opinions do not define my future. So I can make a change at any point, and then I need to take action, and then I need to mentally go, you know what? That's over. It's in the past. I'm starting fresh. I'm going now, and we're going to hit it hard, and we're going to start changing lives and impacting lives with our story. And I mean, it took me a while to share my story, but I had to mentally get prepared for that. And so I spent the next several years, you know, almost interviewing people that were living, you know, had great marriages. They had great walks with Christ. They had great businesses. They were great entrepreneurs. Like, how do I get to that situation? So I was asking people like, "Hey, I want to take you out to coffee. I want to understand your story." This is obviously way before I started podcasting, but I kind of had this interview-ish type scenario going on at that time. And that really helped my mindset. Like, hey man, I need to start reading books more. I need to get myself into the right situations and going out to networking groups and stuff like that. I thrive on going to places where I don't know anybody because I love networking and getting to know new people. And so that's what I had to do, man. You got to get uncomfortable if you want to make some changes in your life.
Get comfortable with the discomfort. Very nice. And you do that right away. You wake up in the morning, the alarm has nothing on you. 4 a.m., you're up. Where's the phone at? How do you get up there? A lot of people struggle, right? They put the 4 a.m. alarm, but then I fall victim. I've had the 4 a.m. schedule, and you get the alarm too close to the bed. You'll start to snooze another hour. It's 5 o'clock, but 4 a.m., you're up. What's the strategy? What's your advice to people that are like, I want to get up early, but I need that kick?
My alarm is set for 4. I rarely wake up at 4. I'm usually up by 3:45 to 3:50 every morning without an alarm. But here's the thing. If you set an alarm, that's you setting a goal that you're going to wake up at the time. So if you hit that snooze button, you just quit on yourself. It's very, very simple. Commit to doing the things that you say you're going to do, right? And so if you set your alarm for 4, then get up at that time. Now, it's very hard if you're waking up at 9 to go to 4. You got to do that in increments, right? So if you're trying to get up earlier and you wake up at 9 normally, wake up at 8:45. Do that for like a month, right? Or a couple weeks, and then down to 8:30, right? Work your way down to whatever time that you want to wake up. But one of the things that I do that helps me set the tone for the day, right? My goal is to wake up each day, right? That's a big goal. And so if I open my eyes, then I officially have set my goal. I got my goal, right? So if I open my eyes, the first thing I'm going to do is, man, hey, thank you, Lord, for another awesome day, right? I get to see my family, get to hold my family. And then I jump out of bed and make my bed. There's 2 wins in 15 seconds, man. It's going to be an awesome day. And then from there, I really just set that personal goal to put a smile on someone's face every day. I want to put a smile on someone's face, either virtually or in person. So if I'm at a store and someone's got a name tag, I want to call by their name tag, compliment them, right? It's not just there so we can complain about them, right? I want to help them have an awesome day, impact them.
That's very inspirational. Treat every man the way you want to be treated. And there's a lot to say about a guy who does that, especially the guy who's just working, doing a regular job. Every job is important, and you see that, and that's a very huge character trait to have. Erik, what's your advice to people that want to make 2022, whenever they're listening to this, the next year, we don't do, yearly resolutions, but just want to make that change? What's your advice to people that want to make it the best year of their lives?
You know what? Here's the thing is, if you want to make it the best year of your life, decide to do it and then take action. And what that means is, again, getting uncomfortable, surrounding yourself with the right people, acknowledging that your past doesn't define your future, set goals for yourself, and set miniature goals, like stack those wins and build that momentum in the morning, right? If you wake up, that's a win, right? Make your bed. Do something else. Like maybe your goal is just to only drink 1 cup of coffee a day, right? Not 2, right? Set little goals that you can stack those wins and then start building upon that, right? Bigger goals, set monthly, set yearly goals, but have those in front of you. Don't just put them on the wall and then or even write them down and then just like not look at them. Pay attention to your goals. Always go for those goals. Always keep them on mind. So like if you can just keep your thoughts positive and on your goals, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. And the one thing that I would say for people that set goals and they throughout the years and they're just not getting there, don't quit. That's the number one thing why people don't hit their goals is they quit. Don't quit on yourself. Don't quit on your goal. Don't quit on others. Don't quit and you will hit your goals. You'll accomplish that life that you want. Here's the thing is, by doing what we love and by doing what we love, we inspire and we awaken the hearts of others. So if we can do that on a daily basis, if we love to wake up, if we love to make an impact, it's going to impact and inspire others.
Yes, they will see it and they're only going to want to reciprocate. That's amazing. So I wouldn't say trick your mind. We wouldn't necessarily say that, Erik, right? But we might say that, create a system a reward system where you reward your mind rather than constantly defeat it, right? I think the more common folk like to kind of beat themselves up. Even some more successful people always have this sort of, what do they call it? Identity crisis, right? Or how did I get here? I got to keep going. And that has its ways of working too, but you got to create these wins to reward the mind to keep wanting to win.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of tricking your mind because your mind doesn't know the difference between a small win and a big win. It just goes, yes, I got to win, right? So stack those little wins and that'll build momentum to get those bigger wins.
Very nice, Erik. Erik, what's next for you? What can we expect coming out of you in the future? You've spoken with 112 people now. You're on your podcast journey. You have the MMA show, your MMA show, and you have the Erik G. Allen show, right? So you have your two shows at the moment. What's next?
Man, 2022 is going to be huge. We're doing this podcast tour was huge. Opened up a lot of doors of opportunities to meet just some amazing people. And 2022 is going to be all about being tactical. So I'm launching a coaching program on how to teach those early podcasters, teach people who are thinking about podcasting, how to make it in the podcasting world. I mean, if you look at statistics, 90% of people who podcast never make it to episode 100. Probably more than that don't even make it to episode 50, right? So what I'm saying is, that's what I do, man. I'm going to be coaching people. I'm going to be working with entrepreneurs on mindset and morning routines and really how to make it a successful year, how to monetize your podcast, how to make things happen on your side hustles. That's a big thing for me is side hustling and just making that side cash because I still work a full-time job like on top of this, right? So, but my end goal is obviously to walk away from the full-time job at some point. But my goal going into 2022, very tactical. I want to make a bigger impact. I want to coach more people. And obviously I want to make more money. And like if anybody is needs some prayer requests, like just shoot me a DM, man. I'll pray for you. It doesn't like I never push that on anybody, but if somebody is running into something like, man, I'm really struggling with this, let me know, man. DM me, I'll pray for you. I just put that out there. If people want to get prayed for, I'll pray for you. And if not, then it's not my job to judge anybody. So I just love people where they're at, man.
It's one of those things where as long as people know you're there for that purpose, maybe somebody might not need it now or today, but when you're there for that reason, it's sort of like you're placed in a more important category. You're not the guy they go, you could have been the guy they went to buy a dime bag 20 years ago, but now you're the guy people go to get a dime bag of quotes or of prayer rather. And that's amazing. That's inspirational, Erik. And I love that you get MMA guests on the show. I would love to get an MMA guest on the show and talk to him about that and just see what that would be like. But that's awesome that you have a show dedicated to these gentlemen who like to get their faces punched in. Have you noticed anything with the MMA crowd? I imagine that's why you wanted to get into this. You took interest into the characters. What is it about, people that like to get hit in the face, whether it's in the cage or in business? What is it about these people? Is it their willingness to fight for whatever it takes to get what they want? What is it that you see?
Yeah, it's their goal, man. They have an end goal. Whether sometimes it's just a goal to be a professional fighter. Sometimes I'm talking to amateur fighters and they've already visioned themselves. They've already got their picture in their head of them walking to the octagon in the UFC and putting that belt around their waist. It's that futuristic look into their future of going, man, okay, I know what I need to do to get there, and that's my goal. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get there. And a lot of times I talk with a lot of up and coming MMA fighters, and sometimes pro. I've had Ken Shamrock on my show twice. That guy's an amazing guy, But so I talk with these guys that are early amateurs, early pros, and they're just kind of starting off their MMA career. But I love the fact that a lot of times when I ask them, like, why do you want to get punched in the face? It's like this drive that they have. They have this challenge in their head they want to keep going for, And I think MMA fighters, male and female, are amazing warriors. And 99% of the time when they fight, it's all business. It's nothing personal. I love the respect they have for each other. It's handshakes, it's hugs, it's, man, thank you for doing that. Thanks. We put on a great show for the crowd, things like that. And it's rarely personal, where they're just like hating each other. Maybe 1% of the time I've actually seen that.
Absolutely. You love when you see that they'll have, big old busted eye and there's blood dripping from both of them, but then they'll just attack each other and hug each other and laugh it off. You're like, wow, these guys tried to kill each other pretty much, and now they're buddy, and that's a lot. That's amazing. That's awesome. I would love to start going into a gym and just mess around. I got so many hobbies and so many things I'm doing now, but I think everybody could use a little bit of that. Some movement, some toss around with somebody your skill. Yeah, that's us. I think everybody should implement that. How does health play a role in your life? Athleticism, do you hit the gym? Are you getting some running in, Eric? Everybody has their own routine.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, I probably need to get back in the gym, but we've built a home gym over the last probably 10 years. So we've got free weights, we've got elliptical row machine, treadmill, all that stuff. We've got a speed bag and, heavy bag and stuff like that. So we've kind of built the home gym downstairs. I'm more likely to just go downstairs and work out than I am to get into the car in the winter and then drive to the gym and then go, okay, now I need to go back in and, try to work out. Like for me personally, it was just easier for me to build a home gym. So we just saved up when we bought a bunch of stuff. And so whenever we need to work out, we go down. I need to get that more back into my routine, but it's been, a crazy, I think, busy year for me growth wise in regards to my show and me personally growing and stuff like that. But yeah, so when it comes to health, I love to go on walks with my wife and our dog, and both my kids are in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so they stay busy and active. So they're twice a week at the gym, learning new skills and things like that. So we try to be healthy as a family for sure.
That's amazing. That's real active family. You got, Eric, what advice do you have for somebody 20 years ago? What advice would you have for yourself, for somebody who's maybe just coming into adulthood or is in those years, I would say like 18 to like 28, right? Those are the years where you really want to do things right. If not even sooner. I mean, teenage years, but what's that something you would instill to yourself 20 years ago that was a big changer, maybe just something to give to people listening and even to yourself?
I think for me, it's very much like, hey man, the partying's fun, but it's not worth it. Like if I would have started in business at 19, 18, 20 years old, man, I'd probably be having a lot more money than I do today, right? Like I might have a bigger house than I have today, right? But I think it also that what I went through built my character, right? But man, if I could go back and slap myself upside the head, man, at 19 and go, dude, it's not worth it. The partying, the girls, whatever, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth the hassle that you have to deal with that down the road. Stay focused on your goal, the end goal. Think 10 years, 15 years ahead, man. And then if you can have that in your mindset at 18, 19 years old, man, you're unstoppable.
The crazy thing is, these kids are seeing it. We see it in our faces all the time. And it's like, you almost overlook the simplest things. And everybody likes quotes. Everybody likes these little small bits of, the secret sauce type of things. And the interesting thing is, a lot of a lot of prayers are exactly that. If you really bring it down, it all comes down to just like that. You can really attribute a prayer to like a quote, to they're almost saying the exact same things a lot of the time. Man thrives off of spoken word, written word. It's very interesting. Very nice, Eric. So people need to realize that partying is not worth it, and doing something worthwhile is much more worthwhile for your life.
I agree, man. And I think it's huge. One of the quotes that I do have on my wall, if we do what we love, like by doing what we love, we inspire and awaken the hearts of others, man. So if we can just do what we love, man, other people are going, man, that guy, he loves doing that, or she loves doing that, man. I want to go find what I'm passionate about. I want to go do that. And so, man, if we can just keep doing what we love, man, it'll inspire others to do what they love, man.
So you're up at 4 a.m. every day. You work towards your enterprises, your projects, and then you go work your job. You make the money. You take care of business. You get back home. You get with your family, and you have a pretty strict no phone, not a lot of distractions in there. You're in bed pretty early, I imagine. If you're up at 4 a.m., you got to be up. You got to be in bed, and very nice. That's not too late. That's not too early. And that's the routine you've created that has worked for you, and it's kept you out of the streets. It's kept you out of danger. It's kept you off of that path that once could have taken you to a place where you wouldn't be here today. You could have been, somewhere else, God forbid, ever. But you're in the right place. And that's I always say, every man that I see is I in a different situation, whether in a better one or in a worse one. We're all the same, just in a different situation, and there's a lot to say about that. What's next for you, Erik? You got guests coming onto your show. You have 2 shows. You're working. Are you a guy who I imagine you have lots of goals, but you seem pretty content. Can we see some things you might not want to talk about? But I'm curious, what's next for you?
Yeah, I think going into 2022, man, for me, it's very tactical. Like I said, this year in 2021, it was all about getting my name out there and really just trying to impact the world. So I've been on this podcast tour. This is my 109th interview for 2021, man. And, I just want to get out there and share my story, hopefully motivate somebody to, start waking up earlier, maybe motivate someone to maybe stop drinking or get out of a situation that they shouldn't be in, right? So going into 2022, I'm launching a coaching courses that I'll have on my website. So I'm slowly implementing that right now with the resources page on my website. So I've got some friends that have classes on there. I've got some ways to make money on there. I've got some just real free business tip stuff to help people in their business. And so really going to be full on in 2022 on more tactical on how to help and make a bigger impact. And so that's what we're going to do in 2022. We're going to do that. I work with a great buddy of mine. He's U.S. Army, Ian Inman, and he's an amazing motivator and marketing and course builder and things like that. So him and I have got some really cool stuff coming up in 2022. And like I said, we're just going to hopefully make a big impact and, make some changes on people's lives, man.
Very nice. Well, you dropped the booze, you dropped the drugs, you've been sober for 17 years. It's not easy. You wear that badge, that's a difficult one, and that's your choice. And some, like you said, some people, it's a decision you got to make. But once you can drop, those things are very huge. With the money you spend on those things, when I was smoking cigarettes, thank God I stopped. I can just the money I think about how much I put towards that, and from what I've heard, people who have done that their whole lives, like all that money that I could have bought a car with that.
Totally.
You could have bought a car with like. Wow. And if you think about it, and it's like, those are the things you want to do. You want to change your life, change what you're doing, and you're in the right step. One of our earlier guests just said, look at it like a stock. You want to improve the stock, make yourself better every day, whether it's with prayer, whether it's with just working, taking care of business. Keep the maintenance up on your life. Maintain everything. How can people find you on social media one more time, get linked up with you and get connected with you?
Yeah, ErikAllenMedia.com is the website. All my social handles are on there, but I'm big on Instagram. So it's Erik, ERIK, Allen on Instagram. Feel free to shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, comment on anything. I respond to every comment, every DM that I get.
Very, very nice. Thank you very much, Erik.
Thank you.
All right, Erik. Thanks a lot. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.